Good day, everyone. This is Chris back again with the Ancient Scholar. This is the current research assignment for you guys that have completed week 1 assignments and week 2 assignments up till assignment number 4. This will probably be a assignment that you will end up doing over Labor Day holiday. I believe we do not have classes during Labor Day, so you'll end up probably using that time to do this, and probably all the other homework that you have at this point. I understand if you guys are feeling a little overwhelmed, just hang in there. You'll get a system down, and just enjoy this semester. This is the only semester you don't have clinical rotation, so you have a little more time to study, to really understand these basic concepts well before we kind of become more advanced and go into a transition into the clinical environment. So here's the assignment, and this is not on something that I've talked about, but it does relate to what we've talked about thus far. So here is your research assignment. Your patient has been diagnosed with oat cell or small cell carcinoma. He has developed SIADH. The physician would like to know the cause of the SIADH based only on the given history. I'll say that again. Your patient has been diagnosed with oat cell or small cell carcinoma. He has developed SIADH. The physician would like to know the cause of the SIADH based only on the given history. So let me go ahead and break this down. Your patient has been diagnosed with oat or small cell cancer, carcinoma. This is another name for cancer. Oat cell and small cell both mean the same thing, so don't worry there. It's the same, two different words to describe the same condition. The condition SIADH I have not talked about, and I'll give you guys a little background on this. This will help you research. It should make it a little easier to research. SIADH is something known as syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. And there's a hormone that's generally secreted by the pituitary gland in the brain, and it is known as ADH, or antidiuretic hormone. The other name for that is vasopressin. And it's actually a medication that we can give to patients in cardiac arrest. And we'll talk about that toward the end of the program when you guys take ACLS and PALS. But going back to the question at hand, SIADH, or syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone, is a syndrome where, for whatever reason, too much vasopressin or too much antidiuretic hormone has been secreted and is circulating around the body. One of the things antidiuretic hormone does is it acts upon the kidneys, and it basically what it does is it prevents urination. It decreases the amount of urine that the body secretes. So the body is not getting rid of fluid. That fluid is retained. The body holds on to the fluid. Now this SIADH, there's the syndrome, because there's too much ADH and there's too much water being retained, if you want to look at it that way, some things can happen. The first thing is that the body can develop edema, and that is that there's too much water in the body. The sodium in the body becomes diluted, and water then shifts into the cells. The cells actually develop edema, and we call this cellular edema. Now, one of the places that is very sensitive to edema is the brain, because the brain is encased in a solid bone in the skull and the cranium, and when the brain cells, the neurons, begin to swell, they don't really have anywhere to expand. If I hurt my hand, or I have something going on with my hand, you know, my fingers can swell a little bit before I run into problems. The brain doesn't have anywhere to go because it's encased in solid bone for the most part. So when patients with SIADH hold on, retain too much fluid, they develop what's called cerebral edema, or swelling of the brain. And of course, this can cause brain damage and seizures, and it can cause all kinds of problems. Now, there is something very specific that I gave you guys in the history, the diagnosis, that may be a cause of this SIADH. And that's what the physician wants to know. He wants to know what could be the cause of this SIADH. And I'll give you a hint, it's respiratory related, because this is a respiratory pathophysiology course, but the objective here is for you guys to relate respiratory pathophysiology to other types of disorders. And this is one such situation where that can occur. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to research oat cell or small cell carcinoma. Do some research. Tell us, first of all, what is it? You don't have to get really in depth, but tell you basically what is it, where does it occur, and is it somehow related to this SIADH business? If it is, go ahead and describe how it is in a basic sense. So that's your assignment, guys. Again, don't feel too overwhelmed. You don't have to go in an incredible amount of detail. I just want to know that you guys are able to research and understand these conditions. And ultimately, this is a respiratory issue, and it is something that perhaps we could identify in the clinical environment. Okay, guys. Enjoy researching. If you have real specific questions, please feel free to either send me an email or Rosie Carrion an email through Blackboard, and you guys should have those addresses on your course syllabi. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great Labor Day holiday.